Hello, this is Gerald Overmars. I have already some videos explaining ATK and then ULB shortly already how we use these focuses and understand also why these letters have a meaningfulness. Now, without much examples, that doesn't work for most people. They need to see immediately what it means as how it actually also works with the associations once you know how they are actually pushing you towards the right focus and right elements that you need to understand what it's talking about. Except that, of course, use your memory as well. There is also this push towards certain positions that are fitting with the object that they are naming. How shall we explain actually? How can we uh, understand actually the position of U, how it is related with not just a position but also with certain meaningfulnesses. The whole system here starts with elements that with a focus in space, the other one in the timing, and the other one in a certain kind of combination of time and space as a kind of behavior that you can derive to certain positions. A, T, and K. I had already. A is a position where you start from, simply. U is the second time when you use a position to start from, but it is already a different state as A. And I will balance this out. I tell you again how this balances itself out from these letters A or U. It's a slightly different. So how do you use U as a starting point? I will show you with two examples, run and up. And with a bit of introduction, you will be able to understand why this is so, why and where it starts from, what kind of position it starts from, and then also what will happen if you start from it and what you can do with it from that position onwards and what you can expect from it as well. And first compare it back a little bit to A. What was the A actually, the starting point? You would expect that the starting point is just like the number 1. No, it's less than 1. It's going towards that number 1. It's going towards a middle point of focus. It's also almost like, let's go and see what I can see, and you're starting to sharpen your vision actually, as you can see in 3 different ways. Go towards a middle, but it's like going towards that middle. I'm still going to figure out where that middle point is of focus, and that's the way how A works. You go towards that middle point, which in fact is your intention is of course that you can always use this middle point and as a definition and as an orientation, that you can do something with it, and it starts somewhere, but it's an approach. That's why A is there at a certain point, that as a reminder that it's an approach from a certain position, which might not even show the real middle point, how you can use this as a middle point with your vision from your point onwards all the time. We have an impression that once we name something, or once you have a definition, we can use it as we understand it everywhere, but it doesn't work like that, and that's typical for how the letter A is gives associations. And I can show this with geometrical illustrations to show that also to you. But basically it's like, now I go towards a middle and let's see, and that's why I have my, so that I can use that all the time as for my definition. In actually the middle point that I really have is an approach. When I would repeat my approach all the time, it's just a starting. I'm not totally in the middle yet. So if I have the full picture of my approach as a middle point and repeat that blindly, this approach will be too small and will not have the right middle point to perfectly follow up the repetitions, where it will fit, where it will have to adapt, where it has another place, or when it deals with other things and is repeated, it will show itself slightly altered actually, because it's further away already from what I know, because it's as if I start with let's say 90% of what I know, and I repeat 90%, and I have 180 in total, while the full picture is 100%, and 180 into 200 is already 20 points away from where I have to be. So I'm getting behind. I'm getting behind the picture. So while my main purpose was actually, no, I want to have a middle. I want to focus upon the middle. If you think that the approach is the middle itself, is the means itself, then you will not come there, because if you just repeat your pulse, what you already know, you come behind the acquired focus. And the first impulse pulse of A was actually to find a middle point of focus, and this middle point of focus is a sort of impulse that needs its adaptation still towards the 100%, because it only grasped 90% so far. And when it repeats its own visions all the time, like you say, oh no, I have it already, I have my formula, I know my approach is perfect, and I repeat it, it will be more and more behind it. It will only tell something about his own approach, its own impulse, its own foundation, and not how reality itself has all its features, where it is, and even where it is, you see the surrounding reality you will get behind it, and you will not following it up properly. And that's what it is with letters. They have to adapt. They have to adapt to what they are, and they are not just alone, standing alone. They're standing into a combination of letters, so they have to adapt. So, and even with the approach of A, I'm going towards it, it will always have to repeat that idea. I have to go towards it. I do not have the full middle point which is acquired in space. I need in space, the first 9 letters, they need a focal point in space, the right focal point of space. It's a matter of adaptation. Already the first letter says I need to adapt. And when I adapt also, when I really do that, you see that the vibrations of A also are slightly altered, are slightly moving along with what it encounters, so that it can keep up with the idea of okay, I'm going towards a middle point. I have my own approach with its own middle point actually, with and that's you can see, if I would refocus and see where is my new middle point that adapted to a middle point, that's the at, as you can see there. I keep at it. I'm dealing with where I am at that moment. So I'm dealing with that real one center. I'm only approaching it. And these two centers are like A and T. I already explained before. The A is then going towards it. That you see, this is my focus, trying to sharpen it, and at T it's sharpened. So when I have the combination of trying to sharpen and sharpen, it's that adaptation process. I go towards actually a previous center, which isn't in the center yet, and the center, and I'm going to reroute it actually to a more balanced view, and that's the adaptation, where I can keep at it. The T, as you had there, was that T is always like, okay, let's focus into the position of where I really am, in which position, which level I have also to adaptation. It's an approach, that level of approach. I can see there in the vertical, there it is. There's my approach, there's my adaptation process, and now I add it, and I keep at it as well. And that's my ability to understand. Oh, you have to okay, I have to sharpen, of course. A isn't sharpened yet, T is sharpened. I have to sharpen. But I can't sharpen 100% because I'm only into an approach. I'm in at position, I'm almost at it, but I can follow it up if I adapt, and I will see how much I can understand from it, and I keep up to the T as well, so that I can keep my focus and my approach from what I know well enough in track to what I see and where I'm encountering things, actually the T of the things as well, that I can also understand it from my position alone. A and T in a way also already have two centers. When I would exploit actually this understanding beforehand, that A is an approach of my center point of vision, a center point of just a center point of vision, but the full reality of sharpness is already a little bit further, and that's differences in centers of I'm not there yet, and I could be there at some point, or I could deal with that full point yet. Then I already have the distinction of two centers, as you can see with the verticals that I have shown here, the wheel center of the full picture, and my abilities in the now grayish center. And it's that new approach of yes, let's start from understanding from the middle out that I have abilities and also a lack of abilities, not to grasp everything right away, but I have the ability to understand that there is a middle center around which I can focus, so maybe one day I see them, I can reach them, or I can already understand them. I'm balancing myself out to that full reality. That's a top picture there with the gray and the brown. The U is this doubling middle focus, understanding where I am in the gray area, where the reality, the real sharp reality is in that brown area in the middle. The realization that there are two stages available, what I do not have yet and what I have to have at some point or another, is expressed by the letter U as a completely new beginning, new focus, refocusing upon the center, which is a dualistic center at this point. There we will start from this realization that there are two centers and that I deal with two centers, even though I'm not able to do anything with it yet at the first point. I have a starting point of realization there. I'm dealing with my starting point at that point, which is then limited, and I'm dealing also with the full U picture, which accidentally fits also to the word U. All what is different, all what you do not have yet is also part of your focus, as what you can reach when you really could sharpen to what you need, what you have, and what is available, let's say. So you have this discrepancy between what you can, the limitations of what you can, which is now more apparent as ever. Your own starting point is limited in its forward progression, and the dual reality of you says that, okay, I know already there is something else, and it can be reached at some point. But its pulse to continue, like you had that in the A, is not really, especially with the sound, it's not really there yet. I want to have it as a progress towards it immediately, but it's limited in its abilities. It still needs to look for the solutions, just like in K, as the third letter says, okay, I'm not sure yet, I don't know yet what to do. This U is also still related in that idea of, okay, I know where to focus upon already, but I'm still not know how to achieve it. It still needs to do something, and the words that are related with it show also that duality, And the duality could actually be solved by the next letters, because it still has a potency. It's that potency in you which is already available to connect. Actually, it is an availability that there is a no, but there's also a yes. Okay, what can connect automatically? In run is the first example. I have the letter R of the last category, which is about behaviors and so on, performances. R itself as a letter is that access point or the access points to the ability of a repetition of movement. How I come to that conclusion, I will not explain now, but it's like all the last a couple of letters are about what's happening in the background that is continuously there, and once it fits to you, you can follow it up at a certain point in space and time for a certain range, and still recognize what's going on. So that's basically all the 9 letters about. The N that will add it as a last conclusion, and which will show the ability then after the inability, that contrast as well, will be about from the second category is about movements in a time process, and the first row will, the D, N, and Y will show you everything that is starting from space and finds a direction. So it moves from space into a vertical sense towards a time process, or any timed process. That means so that when something is steady, stable, or stagnant, even in this case, will find its way up, where it will find an access point to a process that in a time process. So already have some idea where we'll go to. So we have the R as an access point into a continuation, and also a possibility to departure at a certain point. So that's the range where we will follow it. And that time process access point, of course, from space onwards. So when we combine that with R to U to N, we start with R, where we have that activity with a certain range of engagement that we can follow up, which at a certain point will activate the U, this stagnant situation, this realization. Okay, be alert, because there might be a point that that there is this access point available. And that's that continuation of movement. That's that movement there. So that means it is as if I'm standing here, and there's an ability to run, an ability to move, and I can access it at any time once it's there. With R and U alone, it's still stagnant. It's just still this ability. I have it, but it's not there yet. I don't have that move yet. I'm engaged to it, but that's it. I'm almost engaged to, what shall I do? I don't know what to do yet. But the N itself says, no, we will move towards the engagement into a time process. And that makes you run. That finally will makes you run. That conclusion will do that. It will make you run. And another example, because to show you even more how it always will be repeated. This U condition, which is that rather stagnant situation to start from, because there's a part that you have your abilities, but they're not fully capable of grasping everything. So you always need a little bit of a push to do something more, to access all your abilities. The yeses and the nos are both available there, but you need a little bit of a push. This push up, of course, and as well. But the P, what is that about? It's from the second category. It's about movements, about timings. It's all related with timing. So if I go from the first category under, so that where my engagement is, into one focus, Now with the second category, I have two focuses, meaning I always have two focuses there, which is a focus on timings. So timing where something is there and something is not, and which I'm going to reach because when I follow the time processes, the conditions, the directions built up, and that's what will be the case here. What kind of time direction is there? It's again in the diagonal sense, and that's my push up where I can see it. Compared to again to where I started from with my full potential, it's like I have a limited abilities of grasping the full picture, and there is also a middle point which grasps the full picture. Of course, I will go into this one. I don't have it. Condition 2. Yes, there I can reach it. Condition where it will go to the into the diagonal to the full range of where I can reach it. It's also its biggest size, its biggest form, and will be crossing its borders actually already at that point. Yes, after these just potentials, it also emphasizes actually, yes, I can reach all these points that I couldn't reach before, and I can reach that acquired level up as well. And that's what is maybe a good enough example, these two, to understand a little bit better the starting point of view, where it comes from, how we associated it, and then also how we can use it to understand the words. Thanks again for watching. Bye.